Yeah, it's kind of like the drive at 5. So here we go. I'll let it up. And guys, thanks so much, Justin. Thankful for you and what you're doing for the coaching community. And man, wow, it's been 5-6 weeks ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Amen, brother.
So, guys, today for me, I started thinking about what makes us a little different, and I want to talk about tempo, one-word plays, and also how we practice it. So everybody wants to go simple, but they want to have tempo, but they want to have that control. I got to do practice, and I got to coach practice, and I got to go and coach this part of practice, and then when team goes, we got to run this play one more time. You know, that one more time turns into like 5 more times. And that 5 more times turns into 10 times. And that play has to be just ran just perfect. So today I'm going to talk to you about how we practice going fast and what exactly is tempo, because I think Justin, we've come to this thing that tempo just means fast. And I'm going to share with you what I think tempo is. So we have a motto called To the Top. And we took top, and we were looking, and I got this from Adam Matheson. And he was looking at time of possession and all that stuff. And he goes, that's the wrong way of thinking. Turn it to total offensive plays. So we take that old added time of possession. You got to win the time of possession. Well, I think that's totally wrong. I think you win total offensive plays if you want to go fast. So as a wide receiver coach, I love that we go fast. And I'll tell you how we kind of do that and what our practice looks like and what we use for practice, and anything that I have, you can have. Willing to share whatever. But simple tempo, one-word play calls. John Weaver, I'm the wide receiver coach at MRA. Our quarterback threw for 593 in the championship game. So, yes, that game was awesome. We won the game, and I like coaching receivers in that game, obviously, because we were throwing all over the yard. So, first I want to talk about this with you guys. What is tempo? So we start looking at it, and I see it as everybody's thinking now, oh, we got to go fast, got to go fast, got to go fast. Well, for me, it's the ability to operate the speed you want to. So you could be like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, right? So the Roadrunner can go as fast as he wants, or he can slow down. Same deal with your offense. I think it's imperative that you control the speed that you want to go. Where so many times you hear the word tempo, people are like, oh, they're fast-paced. Well, if I say the word tempo, I'm going to go at the speed I want to. So if I can pick up the speed or I can slow down the speed, whatever the case may be, that's tempo for me. And what we do, it's just, I think it's, Justin, it's become a word that people just say tempo, and that means, oh, they go fast all the time. Well, it's the speed you want to go to. So let's look at this. How does it work for us? Well, look at the picture on the right before I go into these 4 things. I put that because a lot of times you think about coaches, and with these coaches, that's kind of what their play call sheet looks like, or a practice sheet, and they have to have wide open. I mean, it's all this stuff. So we want to find a way to maximize practice time. You want to eliminate those wordy plays. So look, the guy on the left is probably holding the same play the guy on the right's holding. So you got all these long wordy plays. And then it's easy to remember. So if you think about kids and how they weren't remember definitions, they remember one word. Well, at least I did. I remember one key term from that definition, and then I associated with that word. So it's word association. And then the last thing is reps, reps, reps. So that was the first thing. How does it work? We want to maximize practice time, eliminate wordy plays, easy to remember for our guys. We want to get the most reps out of it. So how we did it. This is important. We used to have this little segment clock, and there was no sound, and you had to always keep constantly looking, and it was 5 minutes. Well, here's what we did. We went to a beeper system. And the beeper system, we hooked up to our PA system in the press box and put music to it. And with that music,
mix it up and
we
put some cheese in there.
went to 4-minute periods.
Do the damn thing.
Are you gonna just do like a peppers and onions?
Coach Grandinetti, I can hear you.
My bad.
Okay, so the beeper system is what we went to. So another thing we went to is, you want to play fast, go to 4-minute periods. And with those 4-minute periods, it allowed us to coach fast, talk fast. I think that's why I talk fast nowadays, is that 5-minute period. Coach Davis, our head coach, looked at, that last minute, how much were we coaching? What were you reemphasizing? Did you really need that last minute? Did you really need that last 30 seconds? So we cut it to 4-minute periods, and it has done wonders for us and as far as speed and how fast we want to go. I think it allows our coaches to coach faster and our kids have a sense of urgency. And then lastly, we added music to it. And the music, what I want to do this year is I want to put music with the periods that we go. So that's going to take some time, but I think it's going to be beneficial for our guys. So if it's like a teach period, we can slow down the music. If it's a tempo, and I'll show you how we practice here in a minute, we can speed it up and anything like that. But if you want this beeper system, I have the 4-minute and the 5-minute beeper system. It just kind of goes out and it'll say, wah, period 1, and it'll go for 4 minutes or 5 minutes. You let me know. Shoot me an email or a DM, and I'll shoot it to you through your email address. Next thing we did was we used headsets at practice. So I don't know about you, we use these TD 900s. They're expensive. And if you really think about it, say you play 12 games in a season, you only wear them 12 times a year if you use it on Friday night. Well, we didn't think that was very beneficial. I only use a headset for 12 nights out of the year. And then you put them back in a box, and then away you go. So we use headsets at practice all the time. Easy to communicate. If you have a specific thing that you want to see, if the OC wants the DC to be in a specific defense at that time, if he wants to bring pressure, we can communicate. But for us to go fast, we are nonverbal. And it's important to be nonverbal for us because our kids don't even care what the word is. They just want to see the signal. So you can say simple word plays, 1-word plays, 2-word plays, whatever. But for them, how fast can we do a signal and get it to them? And that's what we did. So we used 2 signalers during team, during 2-on-2, during 1-on-1. Every time we're doing something, they're seeing the signal, getting it fast, and then having to react. So here's the biggest gripe that I get. I don't want to say gripe, but it's the biggest question, is you coach on the fly. Well, what does that look like? Well, we film everything. You correct it on film, and coach on the fly. So during our hammer down periods, if we want to get max reps, look, it's going to be recorded and we can watch it after practice. You can go through huddle, you can send it to your guys, and you can coach in the film room. But for us, coaching on the fly, so here's what happens. We have 2 signalers on the side, and what's really cool is we switch from home to visitor side. So our guys don't get to predominantly looking at one side, and we don't tell them what side we're going to go to or the signaler's going to go to. So I'm coaching the receivers. Our O-line coach is behind the offensive line. Our head coach, who's also the OC, is behind all of us, calling the plays and watching the whole thing and relaying it to 2 guys that are on the sideline signaling. And that's how you go fast for us. That's why we thought it was beneficial. So there's 2 signalers going on. Look, we use a board sometimes. There's so many things that we get into, but you got to use your headsets to communicate effectively, I believe. 2 signalers, you could use 1 signaler. We just use 2. You coach on the fly and you correct in film. So disclaimer, there's no such thing as a perfect play. And that was one thing that we had to let our kids make it right. And what else it's done with nonverbal and these 1-word plays and how we do our quick game and how we call stuff, it eliminates the check with me to get that perfect play. Let me check, and then the defense checks, and then you check again, and then next time you're looking up, you got 2 seconds on the play clock, you're calling timeout, and you're in the first quarter. You're like, man. So let your kids make it right. There's no such thing as a perfect play. And then get away from that check with me if you want to go faster. So here's, and I was telling Coach Grant and Eddie this, about going fast and tempo. Don't complain about the results you don't get by not putting in the work that you didn't see. So there's some stuff that you want to do, right? It's just like when you work out. Don't complain about the results you're not getting because you're not putting in the work. Well, same thing with tempo. If you want to go fast, you can't stop after every play. You got to just let it rip and go. Correct it on the fly. Say 1 or 2 words, soundbite coaching. I'm big into that with Coach Torrey. We use a lot of soundbite coaching. Hey, what tag words can I tell my guys after that play triggers in their brain? And then we can go watch them. Hey, this is when I was telling you this. So go fast. So let's show you how I practice. Our head coach is phenomenal. at practice plans. So how we do it, we do a thing called team takeoff, and we call it TTO. And when we do these, we look at our hammer downs, we look at our blitz pickup, we look at what we do as a staff, and then our head coach, who's also the OC, looks at where do we need to put the brakes, where we do the hammer downs and all that. So we look at this thing together. But team takeoff is versus air, and we want to go through the plays that we want to hit in tempo, the one-word plays that we want to use, the two-word plays we want to use. And then we go into that. Blitz pickup is another team for us. So we're signaling with that. Well, then we go into fundamentals. Now, I told you we're only 4-minute period, so I get 12 minutes with our first group, 12 minutes with our second group. That's it for fundies, for our skill guys, or I'm just speaking on our wide receivers. Well, then we go to hammer down. And when they hear hammer down, it is, I don't want to say pandemonium, but people are grabbing headsets. We're flying around. We're getting to our spots. Our guys are getting set up. And it is full tilt. How many plays can we get in that 4-minute period? And we're always trying to get 12 to 14. We are rolling, and it's against the defense. And then when you get a break, you get a break. And then we go to good on good pass. Then we work perimeter drill. And this changes, ebbs and flows with how we do. But we try to get at least 3 to 4. And if it gets later in the season, we'll start working more team of hammer down. But our hammer down is exactly what that means. Hammer down, full tilt, let's go for that. And then we do some 2-on-2 and stuff like that. But as far as going fast, we're going to coach fast, we're going to talk fast, and we're going to get our guys going fast. Any questions so far? Awesome. So why we did it? Why do we go to doing this and having these one-word plays, two-word plays, and eliminate hitch, slant, or 234 fish or whatever, and just call these one words to help us? Was our ability to play faster. We combined our best routes with runs, RPOs in one word. And then at any time we can create one. So our head coach was talking to me about this, and he goes, do you realize we created one in the regular season at halftime? So you can create these, and look, you can name them whatever. So we created one at halftime and changed it and went on about our merry way, and it still worked. So old plays versus new plays for us, and I'll show you some examples. Old play, gun brown right, zone 2 Monday, right? Not only do you have to say that, but imagine telling that to a kid who has to remember that and take it to the old telephone, right? You tell one person, they got to tell the next person. With the running back or the receiver who's running in the game has to go tell the quarterback, and then the quarterback has to tell everybody else again. So it's been said 3 times, and your quarterback says it twice, and that's 4 when you hope he gets it right. We just call that salt. One word, run game, everything. So let's go old play. Open trips right, red, 324 fish. Right? New play, floss. And that's how we eliminate that. And then how do we do both of them? Old play, gun brown right, zone right, 324 fish. So combine them all together, soft floss. That's simple for us to just look at. Let me go back and have that. So before I go any further, I'm going to show you some stuff on Huddle real quick. And I'm going to take about a 20-second break to get all this set up on Huddle. And then we'll have Q&A if we need to. Let me go to this, our quick game. And I'll go through some of these. I'll click on some of these guys and just show you what it looks like. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Are there any questions in the chat, Justin?
No, but you do have to do a new share because the PowerPoint's still up.
Okay, I got you. Give me 10
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. The chat is open, guys. If you guys have any questions, man, feel free to hit it. I'll let you know when that screen's up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll new share. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes you can just like go from share to share, and then other times you gotta like actually get out and then go back in.
I think we're good now, aren't we?
Yes, sir. We're good.
Awesome. So let me go to these real quick. And look, I'll show you the good, the bad, the ugly, because no football team is perfect. So here we go. Lime flick. That's going to tell, instead of giving like flat out and the stick route and the protection and all that stuff, we just said lime flick. And you're thinking that's 2 words. Well, we gave 1 word. Who's going to the O-line, they get 1 word. And then the receivers get 1 word. So here we go. We'll get a flat out to the boundary, and then our stick concept to the field. So here's another thing, and this is one big thing, and I talked about this earlier, or I think our head coach did. We're a field boundary team. So how does that allow us to go fast? Well, a lot of times you want to put trips to the field, probably 90% of the time, if not more. Well, just call trips. Don't say trips right. Just have a signal for trips. And that tells your 3 receivers to go to the field. None of this trips right. And they have to learn a different thing. Just tell them trips. So show them a signal and let them get there. And then call your play. So literally we have 2 signals that tell 2 play or 1 play. So here we go. A lot of y'all run these GIFs to the field, to the boundary. These pre-snap reads, that's what we do right here. That's flick. Let me take this end zone off.
Got a question here, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach was asking if you can explain more about the terminology. He's saying if you can give an example. So you create, or he's asking, do you create a system, or are you just asking the kids to memorize all the words?
Okay, that is awesome. Okay, so I'll get into this with this. So let's take flick, for example. Let's take words that work together. So I got a flat out to the boundary. So we're going to take that first letter, and that's going to talk to the boundary. The other, so the ick will talk to the field. So if you look at flick, the boundary knows he has a flat out because of F. And then the it concept, so we operate under 4 concepts with this. It's hitch, slant, flat, and it. And all we did was blend those together. And once you blend those together, the guys start understanding, am I boundary or am I field? So boundary will always be the first part of the word. The second part of the word always goes to the field. So here we go again. Here's flick again. Flat out to the boundary. Let me see if I can go. So here's floss. So the F is going to talk to the boundary on a flat out. The S is going to talk to slant. So obviously there's rules with that, but we have eliminated the word. And that's a great question. That's a great question. So we don't make the kids memorize like, oh, just remember this word to be this. No, we're going to memorize this word to go with this passing route. So we call floss. That's what we're running, field boundary. So as you look up top, you're going to have a 2-step fish, a 4-step fish, a 2-step slant, 4-step slant, and then a 5-yard in, and then you're going to have flat out by the boundary. So for us, a flat out, anytime they had a flat out, it was always to the boundary. In the stick concept, we're going to give the speed out by number 2, but they remember these routes by these 1 words, and I thought that was beneficial, allowed us to play fast. They see the signal and go with it. So hick, here it is again. H to the boundary, that's going to be a hitch, H for hitch. And then it to the field. So we just put it and blend it together and call it hick. There it is. You have fade on here. Here's hitch. So we just call all hitch, red hitch. We all run hitches, 4-step hitches. Here's another one, halo. So this is one that we just changed up. We ran Halo a different way, but we kept the same concept where a lot of people we were going with with Hick, they would jump this speed out. Well, now we used to run this Halo concept. We'd run a hitch, and this guy would run a slant right off the back side of it. Well, what we did then, and we just changed this and say, hey, we want you to run an 8-yard bender. And we talked to one guy, and once that happens, here you go. The backer in quarters is trying to ice cream truck us and widen out, take away the speed out, and we throw it right behind them. It allows us to play fast, and I know you can't see it on Huddle about how we play fast, but look is another thing for us. It's one word specific to our guys. It's a rub route, but all of our there's flick again, so you could probably tell me how to run flick. So as you're watching this guy in flick, he's to the boundary. Yep, you guessed it. He's going to run the flat out. And then you have the ick concept here. So here's how we blended our quick game. We've taken the flat and we run flick and floss. We take the hitch and we run hick and hoss. Okay, and then we just start blending words. So we're going to have a new one this year where we're going to take the flat out to the boundary and the field. Both the outsides are going to have a flat out. We're just going to call that fluff. So any way that you can manipulate and go back, and we all have time right now, go and look at your playbook. Hey, what routes and what numbers am I calling to where I can call this where it's faster. So just call all hitches, just have a signal for hitch. You want to run all slants, just have a signal for slants. If you want hick, stick, flick, hick, floss, false, floss, all that stuff. There's a rhyme and a reason to it. I think I just saw a question maybe pop up.
No, it was in regards to your explanation. He said he loves it.
Okay. I think that's about it. We'll run all that stuff. But a lot of our stuff is that one word tag. Let me stop share and reshare real quick. Is our one word tag that we use. And I think it's worked for us. I think it's been beneficial for us. But going back, I think about NFL play calls. And look, I think they have to learn the playbook as a big deal just because of those plays. Tom Brady has these long drawn out, everybody talks about Gruden, the spider 2Y banana, whatever. Well, just call it one word. And that what was awesome with the XFL. You'd hear June Jones and you'd hear, who's the other guy? I forgot his name. Hal Mummy, sorry. Just call out these plays. One word, 2 words, and go with it. But, I get the NFL, they got a lot of transition in trades and acquisitions, and they have to tell everybody what to do and all that stuff so they can play at a high level of fast time. Anyway, I think for high school you can simplify it, and it allows you to play faster. We combined our best routes with runs. So if we want to run inside zone and tag it, just call soft floss. So that's inside zone. So our words, we used words like cutting tools, trucks, and then we just have a signal. So, and I want you to think about this. Your kids really don't care what the play is. They don't care what the name is. The name is for the coaches. The signal's for the kid. So you can tell a kid, hey, I need you to run, steamboat. What is that? And you show them the signal, they'll get it. Okay? And at any time you can create one. But it all goes back to this. Reps, reps, reps. You got to get those reps in. So eliminate, hey, I got to stop and coach. I got to stop and coach. If you're in a team and you're a tempo team, get after it. Okay? Is it going to be perfect? No, because it's never perfect on Friday night. So quit trying to make practice perfect because the game's not going to be perfect. So let your kids make mistakes, but also let your kids make it right and then be able to coach them during film sessions. You guys have any questions thus far? It's pretty self-explanatory though, Justin.
Yeah, no, we're good right now, Coach.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm big into culture too. So Justin, thanks for plugging the culture classroom. And I think unit identity is a big deal. I think position group identity is huge with today's sports. So you're not taking away from the aspect of team, but I think a system and a culture that needs to be invested in. It comes and starts with a position coach because they see you every day. You're coaching them every day. You're with them. So I want to share this little 2-minute clip of Mackenzie Salmon, who now works for the USA Today. She did this for us and kind of heard that we're called the Air Raid Brigade. If you follow me on Twitter, I like Top Gun. I kind of wish they released Maverick at the same time they released Last Dance. Anyway, I just want to show you this, and this is what we do inside of ARB. Are there any questions before I start?
Yes. Are you moving the ball during practice to get more reps?
Great question. All the time. And it's not left hash, right hash. It's where the play goes. So if the play stays on the left hash, keep it on the left hash. If it goes to the right hash, keep it on the right. Go to the right hash. If it's in the middle of the field and you run an inside zone, it hits in the middle of the field for 10 yards, keep it in the middle of the field. That's going to train your guys of where to run. Don't let a play go to the right and then, we're going to put on the left hash, because that's not real in a game. If it goes to the right, it goes to the right. And now if it's incomplete, it stays put. If that makes sense. We get a coach to spot. We get a coach. We don't let kids spot. We get a coach to spot. And we have 2 going, and we're trying to maximize those reps. It is all about speed on hammer down. Is that it? That good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and look, real quick, if you want that beeper system, I have it, the 5-minute and the 4-minute. Let me know, and I'll shoot it to you. But enjoy this 2.5 minutes of what we do inside the ARB. It's hard to say brigade, so we say ARB, and just go with that. And our call sign, our cliche, is take flight. Identities within teams are a huge thing, and this is nothing really new. You know, if you think back to the Purple People Eaters with Minnesota Vikings, the Orange Crush with the Denver Broncos, and I knew that there was a sense of identity that you needed within position groups within a football program. And with us throwing the ball, we need to have something fun. So we came up with, like, Money Crew was one of them. Flight School was another one, I believe. And we really couldn't decide on one until I started thinking about Air Raid and the offense that we run. And we throw the ball a lot, and we have an awesome quarterback with Philip. And I was like, you know that. And then I thought about my dad's in the military, and I was like, what about brigade? And I was like, that's a subunit of the Army and all that stuff. I was like, that's kind of what we are with our football team. And it kind of stuck.
I'm Tyler Starnes. My call sign is T-Bone.
Call sign is Spider. I'm Landon Fulcher. My call sign is Suave.
Smooth. Mine's J-Dub. So first and last name.
We wanted to be, I don't want to say set apart from the team, but a subunit of the team where our guys, I challenge them daily to make plays. And I think they thought, well, he's not going to write notes every game for us. And it's turned into, Russ, I just saw he's had everyone from last year. And, you know, I love my players. And I think that's one way to show that you love and that you care. Football is the vehicle that drives what we do for a living.
I think it's really inspiring. I think it's nice for him to do that, especially, before real big games, just to tell us how great we've been. And it's actually something you want to read before a game, just because you're real nervous or, your mind's racing. But just to see, there's no pressure and just go out there and play.
I think it gives, a sense of confidence for the game, knowing that he took his time out to write that he trusts us, and that we all trust each other to do what we're supposed to do and get the job done.
There's just so many things in life that football is just a small part of it. And if we can take a time to write a handwritten note, to get a badge, to come up with a cool call sign, to have them part of a unit and an identity in their high school career, I think that speaks volumes for what our sports are going to nowadays. Guys, I appreciate you listening to that. If you have any questions, we can pop off some stuff. That's my Twitter, @Coach Weaver MRA. That's my email. That's my cell. Reach out to me on any of those platforms. It doesn't matter. Anything you want, I'll give it to you. I think on those two things, you make it simple and you can play fast. And then two, you start building identity within your position group, and you create that bond. And then, T-Bone said trust. I think trust is a big thing. So if they trust that you're going to go fast on practice, they're going to go fast on Friday nights. It's one of those things that you got to continue to practice fast to be fast. And if you want culture, you got to be intentional with your culture, or your system or your process or whatever you use on your team. But guys, this is who we are inside MRA football. It's who we are inside our receivers. A lot of times we'll have competitions of who can line up faster, the linemen or the receivers. And you got to have a coach that always says, snap it, snap it, snap it, snap it. And you're wanting them to go. So if you jump and false start, just lock in real there, lock in on that play, lock in on that play. Just have a sound bite as you coach and go with it. But to play fast, you got to practice fast.
Absolutely.
And I'll open it up for any questions. I'll stop share, and there we go.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, man, feel free to drop it in there. And once again, in regards to the tempo stuff, we want to talk about some of the culture stuff that they do. Obviously, it's something important to coach, and it should be important to everybody, right? And you strive to get the culture right as far as the whole team and program goes. And then as position coaches, we are the head coaches of our positions. So to create that subculture is just as important. So, and it gives you an opportunity to be creative with it. And like Coach said, kind of, to get the guys buy in, and, in his group, obviously they all have nicknames. It's really cool stuff. And I mean, is it the sole reason they were productive? No, they put in a lot of hard work, but you know what? I believe it definitely aided to their ability and their willingness to be, super energetic at practice and completely bought in, man. It's fun, and they have some say in it, and it goes a long way for sure. Absolutely, for sure. So,
Yeah, and I'll speak on our offensive too. Like for our tempo, like we want to go fast. So why not have fighter jets, those F-16s? I mean, those things fly around. So, I just think those two work hand in hand. And I challenge you guys to do that within your position group.
Mm-hmm. You see that one, Coach?
I did. Does everyone get a signal, or is the QB relaying something? Nope. The only time the quarterback speaks is when he says go, or he needs to make an adjustment if he sees a blitzer coming off the corner. But we are 100% nonverbal, and that has allowed us to go even faster. As soon as they see the play call, we're going. It's not because I know a lot of teams, they'll go, hey, all right, there's the play to one person. Well, if you can signal it to one person, you can signal it to 11, right? So the coach is allowed to stop period to coach players up. During a hammer down, no. We do that during individual, and we do that during like 2-on-2, 1-on-1, blitz pickup. But anytime you see hammer down, it is what it said. It's hammer down. We're going on. Coach Stevenson, that's a great question. Coach Burris, I'm gonna go back to yours real quick. So about the signaling. So if our quarterback has to get a signal and then relay it and then go, well, we're taking precious seconds off the clock. And I think the faster we can go, the better it is, because we want to get us. I mean, you got to think our top means total offensive plays, and that's what we're trying to do. Those are both great questions. So we signal, they get it, and we're going. Same thing with stopping a period to coach. That goes back to, let me share this real quick. That goes back to this right here. Let me get this going back. This goes back to our word. We coach on the fly, and then we correct it in film. I think that's a big thing. We film, but when we film, what are we watching on film, right? So we watch some 2-on-2 on route stuff, but we're coaching that up. We want to go watch our hammer down periods and where do we mess up during team, because look, and everybody knows that you have these guys that can wear out camp. They're great camp players. They're great quarterbacks at camp. They're great receivers at camp. They're great DBs at camp. You put them in a live setting, what happens? So we want to get as fast as we can, as real as we can on when we're doing team.
Well, good question. Anybody else? Any other questions for Coach? Are there multiple coaches sending signals to the offensive line, quarterback, and receiver?
It's a great question. There are 2 signalers in a board, and somebody's live, somebody's dummy, and then sometimes both of them are live. And we make that play call. We make that call during the game. We switch it by period. By possession, by quarters, by halves. That's so nobody can really get it of who's live and who's dummy. And then sometimes we'll say, hey, both are live. You got quarterbacks, you got receivers. That's a great question as well. But at practice, we're going to give them multiple looks because one's live, one's dummy, and they got to get used to seeing the live one, so it's not just one.
Are you watching film before or after practice?
Both. We are doing both. So that's when we do practice. So here's our week practice. On a Monday, we'll come in early. So when I say early, we'll start practice at 6:30. We're off the field like by 7:30. So we'll get a lift, and then we'll practice, and that's maybe an install. Then we'll come back in the afternoon and have like a normal practice. But guys, we're never in full pads. I forgot to mention that. We're never in full pads. We're in shells, short shoulder pads, helmet, and we're going. And on Tuesday, we go normal. On Wednesday, we go out in short shirts, no helmet, tennis shoes, or cleats. We typically go in cleats, and we run through everything that we're going to do. And then we come back Thursday morning, 6:30 to 7:45, and we're done. We are done Thursday morning. And I think it's been beneficial for us and allows our guys to recover, give that 24-hour recovery. Chip Kelly did that when he was at Oregon. There was a big study about that, and I think it worked for us to keep our guys healthy. And look, a grind is in a football season. That gives them an afternoon off, and I think they need that. During the week, you need an afternoon off, and that allows them to go watch our junior high play, allows them to just kind of – when school's out, you're out. And we've gotten our work in because everybody knows you've had that Thursday where you're ready to play the game, and your kid's ready to play the game, but you go like, I got a 45-minute practice, and then you end up going an hour and a half, and everybody's ticked off because you didn't get this play right. You didn't run this one right. Well, the defense didn't get the check. So we go in the mornings and got a time, and we're getting through with
it. What's the coaching point for the players at the end of the play? Are they sprinting to the new line of scrimmage? And just before I continue on with this, Coach has a great buzz saying that he uses with his guys. But are they sprinting to the new line of scrimmage, then getting set, looking for the signal, getting the signal, then getting set, or a combination of both?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, Coach. Here's what happens. This is perfect world. Plays over, your eyes go straight to the sideline, and you're getting the play as you're running, and then you get down and you run the play. That happens probably about 30% of the time. We want to get that higher because your O-line are having to go and get. So ideally, that's perfect what you want to do. But for us, we found that they're running, they're getting it because they're tired. But we're running, we're getting the play, and then we're down, and maybe they peek over again, or a right guard tells the center, "Hey, it was this. Hey, we're running Apache. We're running Apache." And go. So, but perfect world, we'd like that. So, yes, we want them sprinting to the new line of scrimmage as fast as possible, but they want their eyes to be to the signaler. And it's easy pretty much for the quarterback because he's running with the play and he can kind of see. And the receivers are, as they're running back to the line of scrimmage, they have their eyes on where the signalers are. Now, look, our signalers are bright. Those construction worker orange and yellow neon vests, that's what they wear. So they can be seen. It's not wearing like a red hat or a green hat. We want something they can see and spot their eyes and get on there fast and go. So, and then here's another thing. Y'all probably do this. If we have a receiver going a long route, we get him off. If it's an incomplete pass, get off. We're putting another one in, and we're going. We're not waiting on them to run back from 25 yards just so we can go faster on the incomplete. We're just throwing 1 or 2 new dudes in, and they're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah,
Great
for sure.
question, Coach Burris.
Anybody else? Any other questions, guys? And once again, obviously Coach shared his contact information. If y'all have any questions that come to you later on, or you want to talk more about some of the stuff that they do, any rules as far as special packages as far as when you call them?
Special packages is like who's in the game?
Like personnel packages, Coach? Yeah.
Personnel? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had one this year called Hippo. And when we yelled Hippo, we had like 4 dudes. Great. That's a great question. So we'll do that with like 3 or 4. We'll have some plays. And look, the kids love it. The kids love it. They don't like okay, we're going to run 34 dive 17 times because the right guard and the left guard and the center can't get a block. I mean, whatever. The kids love it. So change it up. We have fun with it. But yeah, we have packages. So we're yelling Hippo and getting personnel coming off the sideline, and our signalers are signaling it. And the other team goes, boop, timeout. When you see people going crazy, yeah, but we don't do that all the time. We have like probably 4 or 5. We're like, hey, all right, in this play, we want this person, this person, this person, and they know where they go. And look, you rep that, and you can call it a trick play or whatever, but it's just a fun thing, and those kids get excited about it and get excited about football. I'm gonna be just excited to hear those cool plays I am when they say, hey, y'all can go start practicing football again. I mean, I'm gonna be like Halloween.
I'm telling you. How many pass protections can you use going fast, or can you go predetermined based on where you are on the field?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. A lot of times we'll predetermine so that goes back into film watching, like how much can we break down and watch film of, hey, who's doing what. But a lot of times we'll have a predetermined, like, is it man, or are we going to slide, or and they're a signal, and we roll with it. So if it's a change, now that is going back to the question about the verbiage. Remember I told you the quarterback can change protection if he sees need be. He can change the protection, and that helps the quarterback. Like if he sees a blitzer off the side, he can say bump right, or bump left, and kind of tells the O-line what he's expecting, because he can see it. Because I mean, ultimately, what we're trying to do by going fast is catching the defense off guard, and they're looking like a Chinese fire drill, and we're snapping and going.
No, for sure.
Great question. To be honest with you, Justin, what makes us go slow is the referee a lot of time.
How about this? Yeah. There you go.
Spotting the ball. Just waiting on the referee to get away from the ball. I mean, look, it even helped when we went to the 40-second play clock in high school. Get ready. Giddy up.
And roll.
That's it. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other questions, guys? Feel free to drop it. Once again, man, there's his contact information. You want to follow up afterwards. Anything, man. Tempo stuff,
Yeah.
play, culture things, graphics. We were just talking before. Had to throw that in there. You got some good stuff cooking in the work.
Hey guys, real quick, I will tell you, if you like Stephen Mackey, we just released episode 1 of season 5 of the Culture Classroom. We're on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Stephen Mackey visited with us. Tim Kite's also visited with us back in an earlier season. Brian Kite, Damon West, those type of guys have been inside the Culture Classroom, our podcast, and delivered some awesome content. Also, Coach Grandinetti has been in the classroom as well.
That's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, no, they've had some, excluding myself, they've had some tremendous guests that really brought, man, a ton of knowledge and wisdom to the table, man. It's a great listen, and once again, during this time, right, you just have more, we have more time on our hands, man. So get into stuff like that. Read books, listen to podcasts. I mean, it's all beneficial to yourself, right? We want to constantly keep learning and growing in every aspect that we can. Work on your physical health as well as your mental health. And, it goes from just learning stuff. So getting into these online clinics, getting into your books, getting onto podcasts, it's all good. So if you haven't checked it out yet, by all means, feel free. And he has some good stuff, man. And the new season's rolling out. So it's a must. Did you see that question right there, Coach?
Yeah, it's a great question. So and I talk about this on my Run the Power deal that I did. And then I talk about it with Matt Arafat and them when we do the chalk war. But it's important that in order to play fast, that they have some type of semblance of, hey, like there's no thinking involved. Outside foot's up, everybody mandatory. And here's why it doesn't vary. One is outside foot up helps with the timing of our RPOs and our quick game. Also, there are a lot of good DCs and a lot of really good DB coaches out there. So when you start manipulating what foot's up, what foot's back, then you start putting in where I am on the field. Coaches can start looking at that and say, hey, when his inside foot's up in this, look for this route. And I think that's a big thing. Just like with stemming, and I got a whole nother thing on why, stemming, they're all taught if he stems out, he's probably coming back in and vice versa. So for us, slot and outside receiver, their outside foot is up. And then for us, we're real simple. Our X and Z are non-existent. We have an L and an R. What does that stand for? Left and right. So when I say, hey, you're the L, they know they're going to the left, and the R is going to the right. Our Y travels with our R, and our H travels with our L when we go like to doubles and stuff like that. And I told our head coach, I was like, we really make the H the T. He goes, why? I was like, it's easy. Left to your right. And those guys can remember that. Just another way to remember LTYR and left to your right. So left is left receiver, R is right receiver. But, Coach, great question about outside foot up or inside foot up. We're mandatory, non-negotiable outside foot up, everybody.
There you go. Anybody else?
I feel smarter today. I got my Kansas City hat on. I feel smarter today. I went to the class and I was like, man, I need to wear this Kansas City hat today.
There you go. Bring the flavor, bring that offensive flavor, man. That tempo stuff. I had to put the KC hat on.
I guess. And look, I got this before they won the Super Bowl. My dad went to Kansas City and got it. And he's like, hey, I think you might want this. I was like, cool, it's a hat. I'm bald. I like any hat, Keeps the sun off my head. So anyway, yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Justin, I appreciate it. Coach Torrey, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Coach Torrey's my co-host on the Culture Classroom. He has a book out. If you want to read a great book, go read More Than the Game. You can buy it on Amazon. Hit him up on Twitter at Mr. Torrey. He's the one that makes the podcast go. I just have fun on it, but he's the one that gets it going. I do all the editing and getting people, but he's the mastermind behind the podcast making it go. So Coach Torrey, thanks for tuning in and listening to our wide receiver tempo and culture stuff. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And appreciate all the coaches, man, who tuned in today, man, and got a chance to listen to another great session. That's gonna wrap up Monday. It's like I said, it's crazy. It's week 6, and it's just been awesome. It's just been an awesome ride, and just all the coaches that have been willing to not only come on and present, but all you coaches that have come on to listen and learn, man. It's been really cool to see. So many connections are being made, so much knowledge is being gained. It's truly a blessing to be a part of the coaching community, man. So keep it going, guys. Keep pushing this thing forward. Like I said, Coach Weaver was the second person on this thing. So,
yep. Hey guys, again, appreciate your time. Appreciate you taking time out of your Monday to listen to this guy talk about one-word plays and some culture. Justin, thank you so much for what you're doing for the coaching community. Kind of the pioneer on this whole deal, getting it started for coaches to connect and share ideas. And guys, stay safe out there. Hopefully we'll be on a field soon, coaching and influencing and empowering our young men that we see and teach every day.